All right, man. Peace. It's Bronzebird here with another video. And, what's really funny is, me looking at the dating climate, I've already expressed the interest to a lot of people who've seen me chat in different, panels or, talk about this on my page incessantly, in which I've set up there and said that the dating market of today is dead. You have a lot of people who come with their own type of like propositions on what they want out of a mate that seems very extreme, especially women that are sit up there and say, oh, the high value man, 6 figures, 6 inch dick, and 6 foot, in height. You understand? And so more or less the whole entire climate of today, it's nothing new. But because of the idea of being able to express yourself on social media, it starts to amplify itself. And the traditions that a lot of people is wishing for, especially I would say the boomer generation or generation loosely Generation X. Generation X doesn't really care, but more specifically, the boomer generation is still trying to say we need to uphold these values into finding a wife or a husband. And more or less, the idea of the status of a man today, he doesn't try to fall into the bullcrap of what the woman is listing for a relationship. And so the reason I made this video today is that I had found a relationship expert by the name of Blessing Okoro, who even agrees that the relationship climate of today is getting to be a little bit too much. And we've seen it before with a lot of these relationship coaches. And, it's more specifically the women that's trying to gear women on being responsible and, actually trying to hear what the man has to say or trying to become the perfected woman for a man. And especially when they get older, this is where you find a lot of them, trying to give back and talk to the younger women. But I have the idea that Generation Z specifically, or ain't trying to really hear it. They ain't trying to hear it. Millennials, we're up in age and, some of us already have kids. We're still probably primarily we getting into our 30s now. And so the idea is the market for us is different. You understand? Especially a lot of brothers are sitting up there talking about women hit the wall. So when you get into this conversation, I'm going to show you the article that I'm talking about. So peep. So it says, it's becoming too much. Relationship expert Blessing Okoro addresses married women who cheat on their husbands. Self-acclaimed relationship expert Blessing Okoro has bemoaned the alarming rate at which married women cheat on their partners. Taken to her Instagram page, the relationship coach noted that the rate at which married women engage in extramarital affairs is becoming alarming, and their husbands are beginning to find out. She said that the situation has gotten so bad that husbands have started to conduct paternity tests on their children without their wives' knowledge because they do not trust them. According to Blessing, a lot of men know their wives are unfaithful and they are just waiting to catch them red-handed.
Married women, tell me wetin dey happen, what's going on, like what is happening? Talk to me, like let's talk sister to sister, woman to what is happening. Married women, what is happening? Your husbands are beginning to find out, like you're overdoing. I know that when a woman wants to do her own, we can overdo. I know a lot of men are cheating, they have baby mamas and side chick, I understand. But your husbands are beginning to find that they are now doing DNA without your consent.
I mean, this is something that's not new, like I've always believed. And the thing about it is like you get a lot of these dating coaches, a lot of these relationship gurus and all this other stuff, such as this woman. And I've seen plenty times on YouTube, these women, they say, women, we got to get it together. All that shit is a farce. What I think is that a lot of the time you're getting these women that's only coming online in order to more or less hear themselves speak, be able to conjure up an audience and have a soapbox conversation on what it's like to be the perfected woman because they didn't learn from their past ways. And especially Blessing Okoro is the same one that's talking about being a relationship expert when she herself got divorced from her husband. So, she took accountability afterwards, but even still, The damage is done. You divorced your husband. So are you single now? Do you even have a relationship where you and your husband get along or your mate is getting along for you to even add on what you're talking about as a married woman? Because she's not married anymore.
My married women, what is going on? The cheating is becoming so alarming, and you are cheating shamelessly. Like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Your husband are beginning to find out these small boys you are sleeping with. They now know. Many of them now know that you are cheating. They are waiting to catch you red-handed and disgrace you. What is going on? Is it lack of communication? He's not hitting you well. Are you guys not talking about it? Waiting they happen.
I'll say this on that type of idea. The man of today is just tired of the woman's lies, right? And then also the fact of the matter that this has been going on for a long time. It's just that, women are very sly. It's this great analogy that they always say. They say men are like dogs and women are like cats. Cats are very sly, very sneaky. They do things and they don't get caught. And you don't realize until afterwards that what the cat did. With the dog, they relate men being dogs on the preface of usually talking about how a dog's sex life, like wanting to hump around and do all these different things, but understanding how the nature of a dog is actually very loyal to their mate. They're very loyal to their owner. They don't try to escape out on their owner or run away from their owner. They stay with their owner at all times. You understand? So it's very funny when, women say men are dogs and all these different things. But the analogy that I've heard someone say is, women are like cats. And, I agree with it.
It's becoming so bad. So bad that a lot of married women are becoming more wayward than single girls. This is a cause for alarm.
Well, let me say this. The thing about it is, you say that it's becoming bad. I'm saying that it's becoming necessary. Thank the Lord for having all these technological advances. Like I see this one man that decided to use a drone to catch his girlfriend cheating, and had found that the woman was meeting up with the man that she was cheating with at a nearby playground park. Okay, that was good. This is the era in which men should be able to catch their women cheating. And by that form, this should allow the man to understand that woman is not for you. She doesn't respect you, and she doesn't respect what you're about. Because a woman that actually cares about a man, she's going to stay with him, obviously. You understand? And the whole entire thing about men, cheating when it's not necessary, I say this: just be upfront with the woman you're dealing with. If you are one that wants to deal with more than one woman, let it be known. And let's really be honest: the whole entire idea that comes into this is monogamy. The idea of why she's sitting up there saying, why are women doing this? And they're finding out, and men are finding out, is because, let's really be honest, the relationship dynamic starts to become stale after a while. You dealing with one person is going to it's going to be like, damn, I got to stay with this person for the rest of my life. And usually a lot of people at the same time don't want to stay with each other for a long length of time. You grow old of each other. You start to realize, damn, I'm getting sick and tired of doing the same old thing with my partner. He's not stepping up. And I just feel like I need something new, which is the reason why women want to search around in those DMs or, find the next available man to go ride on a cock carousel. And, that's the whole entire thing, man. And then the man wonders why. Oh, why did my woman cheat on me and stuff like that? She starts to become spontaneous. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily the man's fault, but the woman's mindset is that she starts to grow old and tired and she's looking for some new dick. That's mainly what it is. And especially when you find these older women that's going ahead and cheating on their husbands with someone significantly younger, it's because they want to feel more youthful again. I've always said that as an argument.
Like, a lot of married women have become so shameless when it comes to sleeping around with small boys. Has it gotten that bad? Has it gotten really that bad? Like, why is it so hard when the marriage is not working for you to take a walk or for you to just give space? Why do you have to stay in a marriage and be debasing yourself and be reducing yourself? Why?
Because monogamy does not work. That's the reason why. Monogamy does not work, man. As much as a lot of people say, and this isn't by far not me advocating for, polygamous relationships and all that other stuff. I just say it like this, man. Whatever works for you is whatever works for you. The man is always going to be curious when to deal with other women and all that other stuff. I mean, if there's more women than there are men, then you can obviously understand that a man should require having more than one woman if he can maintain that type of relationship. Because a lot of men will sit up there and say that they could deal with more than one woman, and they really can't. They'll say it, but in essence, they really can't deal with it. So that's why they get all butthurt and, become very overly infatuous with, like, dealing with one woman at a time and then just wondering why. Oh, I thought she liked me. I thought she loved me.
Why? Because it's becoming so embarrassing. And the annoying part about women is the fact that we are emotional beings. You will sleep with these men and sleep to the point that you do this thing without protection and get pregnant and hang it on your husband's head. Like what?
And I say this, I would say women are more emotionally aware. Men are usually, I would say like this, women are more emotionally overt, whereas men are emotionally covert. So you're getting two sides of the coin, where a woman will openly express herself and a man is usually more to himself unless something really big happens. And, it's one of those sort of things at a small scale until you get to a point where a man starts to tick and starts to notice things, and then he's like, it's over. He blows his fuse.
What kind of evil is that? What manner of witchcraft are you practicing? What is it? If this marriage is not working, take a walk. Eh? Even if you say you want to do this waka waka, use protection now. I'm not saying married women should cheat, but I'm saying you are an adult now. I cannot hold your pekus, but protect yourself now. All these small boys also sleep with all these small girls that are hovering around with infection. Protect your family now. Like, I don't know how a married woman is cheating and she gets so carried away with cheating, forgetting that she has a family to protect. Don't even give me that. And what about men? Men too cheat. Don't give me that. Don't give me that, please. Don't give me that. Women are more in the receiving end. Don't give me that. You are not a man. If a man is cheating on you and you feel you cannot take it, it is stupidity for you to start using cheating to revenge with your husband or your husband. It's foolishness to use cheating to revenge. No.
Well, the modern day woman doesn't care about family. Okay. And, they always want to use the men as a talking point and say, well, men do it too. It happens with everything, because the modern woman has built up in her mind that she has to be competitive against a man in everything that he does. So the fact of the matter that a man will go out and even get looks at a woman, the modern woman has a problem with that. Oh, why are you looking at my man? Or they'll find out that a man, they want to be able to have that gratification as well, so that when it comes to a man looking at her, she feels on top of the world. She, she'll entertain the idea that the man is flirting with her, but she has a guilty conscience. That's the reason why she won't go full into it until the time comes in, if she finds out that her man is cheating. Okay. But, mainly the idea is the modern day woman doesn't care about her family. She doesn't care. She wants to be able to do what she wants. The whole entire liberation type of tactics that comes into this whole entire conversation, especially now, when I had seen something a couple of years back when you had one of those like congressmen, I think her name is Iran Omar or something like that. I forgot her name. But the congresswoman, I believe, the politician, the famous politician, in which she had two husbands. She had two husbands, and then just was like, it didn't even really work out because wound up getting divorced from one of them and stuff like that. But she had two husbands. This shows you the climate of the dating field. But to basically answer the question indirectly to Blessing, the modern day woman does not care about the family. She doesn't. It's all about her. Okay. She wants to be able to ride on a cock carousel at her own volition. That's her and her business. right? But at the same time, that's ultimately to the detriment of her because she's trying to be like the man, psychologically trying to be like the man. So that's why you have all these random ass problems and why you're finding it like embarrassing that these women have no shame in who they cheat with.
Oh, that's not how the revenge. There are lots of ways to punish a man than debasing yourself, than sleeping with boys that are not worth it just because you want to revenge to your husband that he's cheating or because he has a baby man or whatever, bad attitudes your husband have. What's your excuse? What is your excuse? That your husband is a cheat, your husband is not good in bed, your husband has what is your excuse? Give me that flimsy excuse. I want to hear it. It is arrant foolishness. If your husband is cheating or your husband is misbehaving, you talk about it. If you feel that the marriage is no longer working, you give space. You don't have to disrespect yourself or debase yourself or reduce yourself just because you want to revenge with a man. Revenging with your body is madness. You are using pecos to revenge to your husband. Like, who does that shit? You reduce yourself and sleep with people that don't even deserve you just because your husband decides to be silly. I've seen this play, like, it's becoming so alarming. Even people who come for therapy, come on now, it's too much. And the annoying part is that the women are becoming so careless that it's now on the street. Like, you shamelessly take off your rings, you shamelessly take these boys to your matrimonial homes, you shamelessly take these boys to your kids. Like, your children even know most of the guys that you're sleeping with. Has it gotten that bad that you can no longer at least protect your children?
The funny thing about it is like if you're the type of woman that's gonna be able to take this new dick that you getting on the side in front of your kids, I mean, if the kids is of age, I mean, any kid is gonna be curious about what's going on. Like, that's not dad, that's a new man. Who's this man? Oh, he's just a little friend and all this other stuff. I mean, obviously, in one way or another, the child more than likely, because of the idea, usually kids are more truthful and blunt and honest when they're younger. You know what I'm saying? I know they had still developed the concept of lying and all this other stuff as they get older, but more than likely, the child is gonna go to the dad or blurt out the fact of the matter that mom has been cheating with a new man behind your back. You know what I'm saying? And the whole entire idea about revenge, it is in a woman's makeup in order to always get revenge on a man for anything he does. Even if the man cheats directly and admits it, or he does something that the woman doesn't like, the woman does what? She uses sex against the man. Okay? She weaponizes sex because she understands that the reward system for a man is sex. So by being able to restrict sex from him, that's a way of her gaining her power in the relationship. You understand? And so by her giving that sex to a new man and not giving it to an old man, it tells you exactly what it needs to know, that he's not doing his part in her eyes in order to maintain the relationship, because it's selfish. It's a one-way street. As long as you're doing right by the woman, that's what makes the relationship stay afloat. That's why they always say happy wife, happy life, right? They never say the happy husband. You know what I mean? Because it's all about giving proliferation to the woman, self-gratification or gratification towards her and not the man himself. That's why we always have these problems.
Please, it's becoming very, very disgraceful. And the most annoying part is that as a woman, don't even tell me to mind my business. Because if you ask me to mind my business, I'm going to be very upset with you. Because when you finish misbehaving like this, the men will begin to categorize us and put us in the same class. When we also marry tomorrow, our husbands will begin to see us like every other woman that they read here or they see there. It's affecting us. Now you see all of them shouting, "Oh, women are sluts." Oh, yeah. Just because of your misbehaving. So it's affecting the women community, the women association, our gender. Men no longer regard us just because of you debase yourself. You reduce the...
Well, let's be real. Usually in a lot of conversations, women don't want to hold other women accountable. This has been a talking point that you hear a lot of the red pill spaces, so-called manosphere, and the rest of them usually say where, you know, women don't like holding other women accountable. Whereas men will hold out to each other accountable because it's structuralized where the man has to be accountable for all of his actions. If he does wrong, that's on him. If he decides to go ahead and cheat on his lady and get a woman pregnant while they're in a relationship headed towards marriage, he is responsible. The woman, however, will not be held accountable. And it's funny because a lot of these relationship gurus and relationship experts, they come out of these relationships and, you know, they get this battery in their back to say, you know what, I need to be able to tell women what's going on. It's because they're probably having a guilty conscience on what they used to do in their relationship. They got to a certain age, especially around the age of 30 and older, where they feel like it's their place in order to tell women to be on the same mission that they are on now, to not get into the mistakes that they were into when they was younger, especially in their 20s. It's just remarkable. That's why I find a lot of this stuff entertaining. And, you know, what's really funny is you'll find a lot of these women who want to talk about their life coach now and their relationship guru and all this bullshit. They single. They ain't got nothing else going on but to bash men on the internet. And then besides that, they want to be able to talk about their stories and their lives as if they think they're going to help other women. It's all bullshit, man. All bullshit.
Woman's gender just because you want to have 1 minute pleasure. If the marriage is not working, take a walk instead of disgracing our gender. Please, it's becoming irritating. If you know you are tired of the marriage and the marriage is no longer giving the satisfaction that you want and you can no longer communicate with your husband, take a walk. You don't have to bring disgrace to yourself and your entire generation just because you want to enjoy a few minutes pleasure that your husband cannot give to you. When you were desperately choosing the man without looking at the red flags, without taking your time to read his background, you said we should mind our business. When you were desperately getting married and you did not want to pay attention, you said we should mind our business. You said you did not care. All you
When they say mind your business, it's just a way of saying not taking accountability, as well as saying, I know, but I'm not going to tell you that, because me being held to that responsibility is something I willfully will neglect, and you don't need to know that I'm neglecting it.
wanted was a man in your life. All you wanted was the ring and to pepper them on Instagram. Why is it a big issue right now? Why are you complaining about the same things that you accepted? You asked us to mind our business. Now you're saying the man is not good in bed. Now you're saying that he cheats on you. Now you are saying that he's a woman. Didn't you see all those things? Or you were desperately getting into the marriage, thinking that when you enter a marriage, you're going to change the man. Now the man is changing you into something you don't even recognize, into something you don't even like. Please, this is becoming one of the most annoying things. If you know as a woman that you're married and your marriage is not working, don't sleep around. That's the most stupid thing to do, to say you are revenging to your husband just because you want to start sharing your kwekus up and down. I have said it over and over. I'm going to keep repeating it. Culture will not what do they even say? Exposure will not change that mindset. Women are at the receiving end. We suffer the most. We are collectors and we are keepers. When you understand that you're a collector and you're a keeper, you will guard yourself. Men are givers. That's the reason why when all this repercussion, it affects us the most. We suffer the most because we collect and we keep. We store.
And that's the main part of the video. You know, my idea on it is it's very exciting. You know, watching this from the outside in, you know, it's a great era and time for man to reposition himself and understanding the world that's going on around him, especially in pertaining to relationships. If the marriage isn't working, man, you know, it is great that she is saying take a walk. You understand? The thing about it is that all this revengeful stuff is because you still love that person. You understand? You still like that person. So you want to be able to make somebody mad in order to get this temporary fix of a good, I would say probably like a good, just, you know, 15 seconds of a euphoria or some other stuff, and able to piss off your partner and then try to find a reason for them to fall in love with you again by basically getting a third party to come in between your relationship and then discard them when things get good again. But men, just be aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Give me your thoughts in the comment section. All right, man. Peace.